I'm not. I don't think I'm lucky enough to win the lottery anyway.
Yeah, that's true, to be fair. I think, you know, there's loads of different stats out there. I think you have, like, probably as much chance as becoming an astronaut or something like that.
Well, I could have given it a try, but I think it's a bit late in my lifetime.
Yeah.
To be fair, so I'd probably leave it out.
Quite a lot of training.
Yeah. I'll start training now then.
It's a lot of effort in it, mate, to go to the bloody moon. Like, it's not really worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose everyone's done it already before, like 50 years ago.
What's the point, you know? We're sort of at a bit of a bad time for space travel because there's nowhere cool to go until the little Mars trip in a, what, like 15 years or whatever it is. Yeah,
52 years ago, first man on the moon, I think. But like, yeah, well, maybe if I was born like 8 years ago, maybe things could have changed. You know, I wouldn't be casting, I'll be an astronaut.
Yeah,
wouldn't be too bad. But going into this first round, this pistol round, Pensioners not looking too good to start with. As you can see, Mr. Hoyt there just popping down pop to see if he can get anything going. Gets damaged straight away. Only 45 HP left remaining. They all know he's there, all waiting for him. Peeks out. Sadly for him, K-Biz does take him out there. So Pensioners there. Not the greatest of starts, but fierce with a nice little pistol round from there. 2K from K-Biz. And the rest very similar on the board.
We're just overwhelmed initially by the Glock train, unfortunately, and not quite able to recover from it. You know, it would have been a bit of a crazy clutch situation, but I feel like for me, obviously we talked about the rosters a little bit, but kind of as a team in general, I feel like Fierce are a little bit of kind of an underdog, an outlier that maybe could surprise a few teams here and there, because, you know, I don't know. This is kind of for me going off of Swaggy being in the team, which obviously here today isn't, unfortunately.
You miss him, don't you?
Yeah,
miss him a bit.
I've seen, to be fair, like some of the online things I cast, like, you know, tournaments and things like that, I've seen Swaggy jump in and he is pretty spicy on the AWP, pretty effective, you know. I'm not sure, maybe up against some higher caliber opponents, because, you know, I've cast some games, if you know what I'm saying.
Have you?
Yeah, oh. some real bad ones. But you got to pay the bills somehow at the end of the day.
This is it. This is it. And speaking of paying the bills, they're getting a nice little chunk of change on the Fierce side here. And only one person left remaining. Oh, and just gets taken down there. Two-Tongue managed to get traded off. But managed to save that Galil. Anyway, it won't make too much of a difference, but does get that 2K as well. So it will leave it be. Fierce had a little bit of a wonder to see if they can find him, but didn't really put too much effort into that anyway. Yeah,
I suppose the Galil, not too bad. You know, it's not a terrible rifle, to be fair. It's just obviously kind of the AK, the one-tap potential, again, is much better, and a fair amount of recoil on it. But it allows him to pull out a good deal more utility here than he would have done otherwise in a kit as well, and a little bit of money in the bank. Shaney on the AWP, does love a good AWP, boosted up quite early on. Hype needs to be very, very careful on how he peeks this one. The initial pick, again, you know, going to be very, very important. K-Piz tagged down pretty low, I feel, by a nade. Hidden in between the trains, takes down Hype and Shaney, Badito, everybody chiming in across the map. Things not going so well for Fierce in this first rifle round as they just try and go for a bit of a, you know, push out T-connector, and it doesn't really work out for them. That's kind of the main question. What do you call that area? Because what we got, T-con. This is one of the things we're training. There's so many different names for the callouts. It was like T-con, A main, mid connector.
I'll just make up as I go, to be fair.
Fair enough.
Normally T-connector, but like, yeah, it depends really, because I don't play too much train anyway, but T-connector is normally what I call it, but you can say that with some other maps like Cash as well. Like, you know, some people say, like, you know, T-mid when it's actually garage and stuff like that. It's
that's
like,
true, that's true.
There's quite a lot of things, but...
And the white box callouts, you know, we've got white box, there's sugar cube, I've heard, ice cube.
Sugar cube.
You know, it's like, what's going on, man?
Ice cube, ice tea.
Yeah, I like the ice cube, because you just hit it with the ice. It's a very quick call out, and I think people would know where it's at.
Nice, baby.
Yeah, let's get it into the...
But looking at the Fierce side now, few Tech-9 buyers here. As you can see, they're going to try and get a quick one done here potentially, but after that molly, it's not the case. Mr. Hoyt there, nice little molly there to delay one of them there, but they are quite tempted to see what's going on. But looks like instead of just rushing in, they're just trying to feed for info, feed exactly what's going on. But nothing as of yet. Pretty quiet, pretty passive to see exactly what is happening. But we do have KP's there going through that Ivory to take out Badito there. But Fazan gets one of his own as well, so not a bad start in this little round here. But as I said that as well, put it in there, managed to get a nice little 3k before he does get answered for. But 2v2 now for Zan and Hyper trying to make something of this, but they do have the bomb, so they have the option to rotate if they feel it's necessary.
That's a little bit awkward. I think that might have been a bit of 4x3 coming into play. The aspect ratio, you know, and the peripheral vision of Fazan not quite as far out as he would like. Does eventually get dealt with into the 1-on-2 now for Hype. Kind of one of the star players on this Fierce side. Manages to cross down, but will have been spotted out. Goes for the fake plant, trying to go for the pre-fire around the corner, but Shaney makes quick work, left on 8 HP. But nonetheless, Pensioners get a second round. It just costs them a fair amount. You know, they only survive with a couple players, still not quite out of the woods yet, and lost bonus stacking up, etc. on the Fierce side. They're going to go for a bit of a broken buy, keeping the pressure on, as seems to be the case with these recent economic changes. I think that is constantly it, you know. It used to be you'd win the pistol, and then it was like, especially on the T side, you're like, right, we're kind of comfortable here, we're going to get a couple rounds extra. But now it just seems pressure is constant back and forth early on. It makes for some very, very competitive CS. Yeah,
of course, Fierce rushing straight into that B site with the 3 AKs, the Mac-10 and the up there. Doing him a little bit of justice so far, but looking a bit of a struggle. Eminem managed to get 2 of his own there before he does get taken out, but put it in now, trying to get a nice couple of kills there as they were coming down that ramp. A few cleanups, you could say, but Benito now is going to be the last one. He's coming from behind, but as he was jumping in, sadly for him, does get taken down. Both 2-ton there. Nice little clean up from him, but looking at the stats now, Paladin is actually not doing too bad. 11-3 now for his team. I wouldn't say carrying, but I don't know, it's quite hard to say really, because you could say yes just due to the fact that a couple of players don't have a kill yet to answer for, but it's still early days anyway. This is going to be the 6th round going in to see what Fierce will do now to execute.
A little bit of a messy round in the previous, to be frank. But, yeah, Fierce able to edge ahead a slight amount, get their economy, you know, back on track perhaps if they can get this one cleanly. That is the goal. Nice control over towards IVM in as well in at T connector. Has managed to find one. Shaney though, hands on to an AK here. This is a little bit dangerous, but aim punch obviously too hard to handle. Aaron almost had the angle, but not quite. Does get taken down. It's again relatively clean as you would expect, as the Fierce boys would like. They're able to build up another accumulator round and build up their lead as well by a couple rounds here. So starting to maybe edge out, you know, I talked about the back and forth nature, but it does seem to be sort of within the first 4 or 5 rounds, and then as soon as one clean rifle round gets on the board, that particular team does just pull their lead ahead, you know, by a few rounds and get comfortable.
Yeah, Pensioners just seem to be struggling on this CT half here. Even though it's a little bit early days, they're not really finding too many answers to the call here for Fierce. But as I said that, Benito's nice little shot there on Capers as he was entering on the site. But Fazan is trying to be a little bit of a pain around Popover. He managed to actually get one in, he managed to get Hoiver, and he's still waiting patiently to just try and be a bit of a nuisance. But sadly for him, managed to get taken down finally. And oh, nice little trade here by 2-ton just to take Benito there off guard. But Eamon now is having a little wonder to see what he can find, but depends if he finds his next player going through, which he does. Manage to take him down there. And so far it's 3v2 remaining. Shaney and Aaron are the last 2 left to see what they can do. And as I said that, nice little dig there by Aaron to equalise things up in terms of the manpower department. But only funny is that Eamon's only on 18 HP, Hype's on 68, but this is still doable. It depends on what they want to do here. They can try and maybe fool them in some way to make the rotate, but it seems like they're not getting fooled for at all. But Shaney may pop over to this B site to see what he can find and try and find out if there's any info going around. But they are full on focus for this A site, so could be a really bad play here. Both Aaron and Shaney have actually rotated, and they've got the site for free uncontested pretty much. So when I do find out at some stage, we'll get that bomb down and we'll have to see exactly what's going to happen. But Aaron is slowly popping back from Z to see if he can find anything here. But the bomb will go down. We'll get that confirmation, but what can Aaron do here? Maybe take Hype off guard, but Aaron knows one of them's in pop. They're just hiding, just playing for time here, but there's only so much they can do. They need to come out at some stage. Hype is patiently waiting, managed to get one in the end, but Aaron managed to get taken down as well. So Hype with that 2k to finish the job off. Nice little comeback considering the circumstances they're in.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate read from Pensioners. You know, like you say, they stack over towards B at the end there, and it's kind of the wrong site, so they're not really in great positions coming in towards A. The nature of Train, because there are so many nooks and crannies on this map, it can be very, very difficult, you know, if they're not making sound, if they're not throwing utility, to actually figure out where they are. But saying that, it is maybe a little bit too close to the wire for Fierce. It is keeping their economy kind of on the ropes a little bit in some cases. Shaney back on the AWP, manages to find the first. Hoi on the B bomb site, trying to hold it on down, able to reposition. There's a few frags outside as well, as it's another messy round from Fierce. They just kind of go for the rush sort of contact play. It's not really worked out so far, but they're bringing it back into contention. 3-on-2. Molotov damage is quite high for Shaney, but a beautiful flick comes in, and Bodito to find the final kill on the FAMAS. So, third round for Pensioners. As again, Fierce Esports, in a way, they kind of just threw that one away very, very early on. Just stupid aggression almost, you know, to be frank.
Yeah, it's a little bit worrying for Pensioners here, because of course, how CT sided this is, it's Fierce been doing a great job just putting on that aggression, and as I take all the nuts and crannies you're talking about on this map, obviously it's quite large, so it's easy to assume rotation, but of course earlier when they went through Ivory, it was quite a big one. But Hype, will he manage to get this kill on Bodito? But the thing is though, he has pulled back a little bit to a point where they do need to push or make something of this, unless they molly him out, but it looks like there's so many of them there, they can at least go for that trade, and does peek out, managed to get one in the end anyway, but Vazan trades off him anyway after Capers got taken down, so only a man down on each side, but it's looking quite slow until they realise what they want to do in terms of the execution. But as I say that, he's trying to take aiming down here, but managed to finally get that pick, and a crucial one to save with this, but Hype is trying to get one of his own, but he's going to pull back here anyway. Knows it's not really a great position to be in.
I mean, if he keeps trying, he'll get one eventually, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But man advantage for Pensioners, looking pretty good for them. Nice little flashbang comes in. Fazan does, you know, avoid it, but unfortunately he's caught a little bit off guard because of the fact. Into the 4-on-2. Nice find by Toten to make his way in towards the B site. The bomb though is kind of lagging behind a little bit. Hype seems to think that there's someone in on the flank. They kind of have to wait for this, force the issue slightly, but patience seems to be paying off for Pre-Lidden. Shaney, however, might not even need his teammate. Yeah, and Aaron pushes forward to the flank. Well timed, you know, round of applause for that, but unfortunately his teammates are too effective almost, and Pensioners in with a fourth round. I feel like Fierce shouldn't be allowed to get any more rounds here, because the nature of Train is relatively CT-sided, you know, aside from Nuke, which I don't think we're going to be seeing for a while in Prem. It is one of the most CT-sided maps in the game, so 5 is kind of the bare minimum that you want to allow Fierce Esports to gather, and obviously they're already at that, and there's a 6 rounds left to go in total of this half, so Pensioners need to be on point.
Yeah, they definitely do, but speaking of on point, nice little 3K already, but he could go for that 4K if he needs to. He is tempted, but not looking the right way, but one person is looking the right way. It's definitely arrowing through that smoke, but it doesn't matter anyway, but pull it in there with the 3K. Good start for him to keep him at bay, but we're looking at 15 and 6. He was going off right to begin with anyway, and the rest of his team weren't actually doing that great at all, but they've actually started to keep up a little bit and actually get some frags on the board. Utility damage, not too much, but that's to be expected on a map like this, depending on the circumstances. But Mr. Hoive must get a little 43 of his own. But it's like you mentioned before, you know, I said it as well, like, you know, with Train, you don't want to give him away too many rounds, because it's not only that if you give away too many rounds that it's going to be a bit of a tough one as T side, but also you feel a little bit demoralised going into that next half.
Yeah, for sure. I think you know what I'm going to say though. Only Aaron with an enemy flashbanged. Shocking from Pensioners so far, to be honest. Got to see more flashbangs. They are so important. If you can get some nasty flashes, then you can really turn the tides of battle.
Yeah, this is it. And one member down on each team already, 44, but so far Pensioners not really too sure exactly what info they're looking for. They're trying to see exactly what's going on, but Fierce are just playing it safe at the moment. They are going to try and go for that B execute, but Shaney there is Wayne with that AWP. take down anyone that comes down, but should get a nice little nade here. Must get so much damage done, at least 100 damage done. Across the border goes those 3 players. Shaney is pushing him, managed to get one of his own. Dito cleans up another one. Aaron gets another one of his own, but there's only KP's left standing. Shaney just barely misses, but good for him, he doesn't lose the AWP anyway, but KP's just been a bit of a nuisance, but doesn't matter anyway, managed to get trading taken down. Not too bad of a push, but it's just a shame that one nade just did so much for them, like, it was pretty mad stuff. But Pench's now getting a few more rounds on the board here to put the pressure on Fierce just that little bit.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's really messy from Fierce. They're all kind of stacked on top of each other coming out. There's no one putting pressure in from upper. That just allows Shaney to go wild, essentially, with the AWP. And that double AWP setup on Train, again, is one of the most deadly maps with the double AWP setup. We kind of have Mirage and Train, I feel, are the best 2 maps to pull out this particular strategy, so it is going to be hard to deal with. Just a few upgraded pistols, really, a little bit of armor here and there. Hype does manage to pick up one with the Deeg, and Fazan is quickly in to scoop up that M4. Brought into a 5-on-4. Looks like they are going to make their way over towards B as well. Oh, this is not so great from Hoy. He gets caught very off guard there, and this is going to be a difficult retake, to be honest. The B bomb site, if they can get aggressive, if they can push forward, which they are doing, get into the face of the CTs, it could be so very easy to get overwhelmed. And as you see, kills coming on through for Fierce. Shaney on 22 HP, going to have to back away, but I think even that is going to be easier said than done. Not quite sure what Hype's plan was there, to be honest.
No, it's a great round by Fierce. He managed to get so much damage done, and so much economic damage done on top of that as well. And you can see the 2K from Hype and KPiz did so much work pushing in. A few AWP shots missed by Shaney, cost him just that little bit, but you can see what happens. But it doesn't matter anyway, that AWP has been taken down and collected, so that's even more economic damage done here. So great plays by him, and Shaney stepped things up a bit as well, not just Prelude in there, but also with Shaney as well. But KPiz is going 11-8 on the opposite side.
Yeah,
as well, but not really too much to say in terms of the stats on the other half. So it is 6-0 at the moment, and you are right, you know, it's quite CT-sided on this half of Train, so Penchers will struggle being a little bit demoralised as well. So if it goes to maybe 9-6, at least they've got a little bit of breathing space and maybe take that pistol round afterwards. But if it goes to 8-7 or 7-8 maybe, then yeah, it will be quite a lot of hard work for them. But this mixed aggression from this CT side, like you can see now, they have a little bit more push up to A main here, but he's trying to look see if he can find one. He pushes in anyway. Quite an aggressive play there. Managed to get a trade anyway. Is very hit and miss, because I thought he was going to get taken down straight away. But now, great play by him to at least get one down. But of course, as CT, you don't really want to trade in that circumstances. But at least he took one with him beforehand. But Fierce now, we are tempted to go for that B site here. Bomb is following down surely, but they will be executing it quite shortly.
Certainly looks that way. Smoke's going to come over the top, followed up by a bit of a flashbang. I think they're trying to sell some kind of a fake here by, you know, not moving in immediately. KPiz does have a fair amount of utility remaining, so, you know, they could go for the initial execute, but I don't think it's really being bought at all by Pensioners. They've still got 2 players here, one very quickly able to come in on the rotation. That's a nice little Molotov. Unfortunately, there's no one there to deal with it. The bomb going to go down, but that's the easy part of the bomb site Train. The retake now is in full effect. Badito manages to find Fazan, kind of trading and saving the life of Shaney, who's up close and personal with the AWP. Not the best position to find himself in, but he's been a bit of a distraction. Emin flanking on through. They've got the 2 players aimed in on that angle, so KP is able to take down one. I don't think they're hugely aware of where he's coming from. All on towards Shaney. Nice little flick onto Emin, but KP is up high. Has kind of got that advantage. Nate going to go down, and it's not even required, but a beautiful little round coming in from KP, to be fair, from the lower ramp initially with that all-important 2K.
Yeah, it's a very difficult one for Shaney. He knew that there was literally nothing too much he could have done. He knew he was going to be above ladder the entire time. Of course, one of the most common spots to stop the defuse, and completely understandable. And, you know, he didn't have a molly, he had an HE anyway, and even if he did go for it, that HE would have done enough damage anyway. But this could be quite a quick one on A side here. They've all pushed straight in, but him in there managed to get one straight off the board, a second one now on Shaney, and They're going absolutely hammer. 3 already taken down. I don't think they expected such a quick rush, but even now with a 3k and he's just going on absolute tear. He's looking for the 4th now and doesn't get it, but the damage has already been done here.
Yeah,
great play by Fizz, pushing straight in like that.
Yeah, for sure. A little bit well read by them. I think they know that it's either going to be an eco or a weak buy. There was an AWP in play, but Preliden not really taking the initiative in a round like that. You know, we see it quite often where CTs, either they save an AWP or they're able to pull one out and kind of, you know, go balls to the wall with it. And that AWP, like I say, needs to be on the forefront, needs to be in the face of the T-side players taking some initial picks and then kind of moving around the map and being a bit of a nuisance. But instead, Preliden let them come to him and he picked up 1, but it was immediately traded. So a little bit ineffective on that force buy, and now the economy for Pension is not great coming into this final round either. It's another broken buy as Hype opens up onto Hoy, who's not been having the best of halves, in all honesty.
Yeah, he's had a pretty slow start, but Aaron's gone straight in. I was talking about this CT aggression, but sometimes it bites him a little bit, but managed to get one anyway with that which ain't too bad anyway. I think he's hoping to at least bring something back, like an AK or whatever, but that wasn't the case. But do know there's one player, one pop anyway. Does pull back a little bit. Managed to get one nice little clean kill there on Fazan. Has pulled straight out, but Caper's cleaned up. Fazan got one of his own as well. And 3v1, so of course if they lose this, they're going to be down 9-6 going into that T side. It's going to be pretty brutal, but it's looking pretty bleak now. It does get cleaned up. 9-6 for that first half in favour of Fierce Esports, and pretty good stuff in all fairness, considering some of the positions they were in that whole time. But yeah, not bad.
I mean, so we've talked about, you know, the CT side of nature of Train, but as a good friend of mine once said, it all comes down to the teams at the end of the day. You know, it is very much possible that you can get rolling on that T side. That's what we see from Fierce towards the end, as they kind of dominate to close that half out, and Pensioners kind of a good spell in the middle, but really not able to carry that momentum through. So we'll see here. It does appear we are going to be getting straight into second half pistol, as it's all to play for at this point in time. Pensioners going to need this one though to ease some of that early half pressure from their shoulders. Yeah,
this pistol round is going to be absolutely crucial, massive for them in that retrospect, but we'll have to see exactly how they're going to be able to do this. They know that if they lose this pistol round, it's going to make life 10 times worse going into these next few rounds and have to pull so much out of the bag. But already 2 players damaged, so much around that Ivory side that you feel like now we'd go for some kind of rush push, but it seems like they're going to wait around Ivory anyway to see what they can do. Managed to spot 1. Doesn't get too much done as of yet, but they will pull back anyway. I think that was 2 tongue now, literally just pulling back just to see what info we can find. But the only thing he's going to find is 1 member around that B site, but it's going to tempt Fierce to maybe rotate a little bit. But now they're going to have 2 members going through straight for that Ivy now, but Hype's just waiting there patiently. Imin now is trying to get a kill of his own. Managed to get 1 in the end, but I can see Mr. Ivy managed to get a trade, and Hype for Zan gets taken down as well. Shaney trades, and Imin now with 2 kills and almost got taken down if on pop, but we'll push out anyway. Capers must have clean him up, but it's a 1v1 now, so I have to see exactly. Oh, 2-ton now is gonna trying to clean things up, but he knows exactly where he is. Not too precise now, but he's gonna either try and go for that defuse and fake and try and bring him out. But at this stage, there's absolutely no need. Pensions just need to sit back and just wait for time in this one. I think they know that is the case, but as you can see now, there's not really too much they can do. Tries to go for the defuse, not the case. Straight in the dome. Absolutely no problem, and I said it before, Pensions needed that pistol round win, and this is going to be their first step in the door to try and at least make some kind of comeback here. Yeah,
Badito actually playing that really, really well. You know, he moves himself into a great position to be in good sight lines with the bomb, and then it could be very common, you know, he hears the tap and he just goes through and spams the deagle. And obviously the issue with the deagle is only 7 bullets, so if he went and did that, it would probably have been an easy defuse in the end. But because he waited patiently, you know, uses his ammo reserves intelligently, and then obviously a pretty spicy 1D towards the end as well, getting the angle pretty much perfect in the end will secure them the pistol. And like I say, some of that early half pressure going to be eased off of their shoulders. A relatively clean round coming in here. They've only lost 1 player. Bit of an opportunity for Hype maybe to pick up another, in all fairness, some low HPs across the board, but I don't think it's going to be quite that simple for him.
Yeah, it's going to be looking pretty bleak here. Hype is obviously just going to try and stay alive and go into that next round. It's not too bad. Fierce won't feel too pressured here going into these next few rounds because they had such a good half 9-6 as T-side on this map. They won't be feeling too much anyway. They're going to be feeling pretty comfortable in all retrospect, but Hype is still trying to stay alive, but that's not the case. In the final rounds, Aaron does manage to clean them up there. So these Pensions get a couple more rounds on the board, but it's going to be a tall order. It's going to be quite a difficult one, but I've got faith.
All right. Believing.
I'm trying to.
Well, this round here will be, you know, a good feeler, as it were, you know, putting them out there for pensioners, especially if they're able to get this one on the board, even things back up, you know, and weaken the economy of Fierce, and it's definitely doable for them. But Toten opening up, Fazen as well on top of this smoke, able to get another. That is not the best of starts, and as the CTs come encroaching on towards this site, it's not looking too good for them on the pensioners side of things. Just Aaron remaining now in a 1-on-4, does find the first, but left all on his lonesome to find 3 more. I think that's certainly easier said than done. The bomb out in no man's land, half HP, not a great deal of utility or information. Train, like we've said, certainly a map where you can dodge and weave throughout the trains especially, but I don't think that's quite going to be enough for him. Finds Hype though. They are kind of split here on the CT side. Could definitely isolate the 1v1s. Takes down Capiz into the 1-on-1. Does a bit of damage on towards Emin, but not quite able to find it. And that is a bit of a shame. So very close. And not quite able to convert in the end. It will be a 10th round for Fierce Esports. The first gun round going their way, and Pensioners really feeling the burn.
Yeah, Aaron tried to make a go of it. He didn't do too bad, but sadly for him was taken down. I think right at the start of that, when he pushed out on that A site, Fazan just did so much damage there from the side. There wasn't really too much they could have done, and really cushioned the blow a lot for them. And now Ultra pops straight away. Fazan, speaking of Fazan, gets taken down straight away. Two-Tongue as well. Shaney gets a nice off, and Ima gets one of his own, gets cleaned up with Mr. Hoy there. And already, just like that, only 2 members of Fierce left, but Hype is being very patient with his ump, of course, with the position he's in. No surprising, but sees his shin on the back of that train, master to clean up as well, and it's only Capiz left standing with that swag 7. But is he going to do too much? Not really, but he makes a go of it anyway. Pensioners taking that round nice and quick.
Yeah, the effort that counts, I guess.
The thought was there.
From Capiz, yeah, for sure. You know, and at the end of the day, a lot of people think that's all that matters, but it's not going to help him out too much in CS. You know, he's got to execute it. He's been doing all right, though. 18 fraggies so far in this game as we get into round number 20. Pensioners should be in with another surefire round. They have forced up into this one on the first Esports side of things, though, which not a huge fan of. I am, you know, very much a play it safe kind of guy. What is that from Emin? You know, just flying gazelle. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out. He gets shot out of the sky like Duck Hunt, and Aaron in with a 2K from Ivy. Brings it very quickly into a 5-on-2, so I don't see too much going on here for Fierce Esports, to be honest, as we get into the final few moments of this round in between.
You're a safe player, did you say?
Yeah, like, just sort of in general, I prefer the safe kind of plays.
Ah,
although, well,
I'm
I mean,
a high-risk, high-reward card.
Yeah, I can kind of get that. I can get, you know, it pays off, like, in sort of clutch situations and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Expect the unexpected, the
I think that's the arena FPS in me, probably. But.
Yeah, probably. But, especially economically, I always do like to see teams who are on the side of caution, because now, you know, Pensioners are probably going to be able to take the lead here as Fierce have to go for a solid eco, so...
Yeah, this is it. It's definitely a lot closer than we expected. We saw Fierce doing so well, but it's still early on in this second half, so I'm surprised me if Fierce managed to at least come back in this. But yeah, you are right though, it's going to be a full eco just to try and end this to see if they can find anything. Shaney won't be getting that kill through. Oh, of course, and Brody, Brody? Do you know, I've got Brody on the brain actually from the last series still. It's because of Benito. It's like, because it starts with B and I see that O, like, even though it's not a 0, it just stays in my mind pretty much. But yeah, most of the players on Fizz do get taken down. Capiz is the last man standing, seeing if he can find anything, which he doesn't, but they've got all angles covered. Not really too much they can do here, but Capers is trying to bait him out here, but Benito's just been a little bit cocky here, just giving that Glock fight, but
yeah,
aim habit's just not happening.
I think they might have seen that he's got Zeus. Oh, let's go. Capers in with a Zeus kill. Does get taken down by Benito in the end, unfortunately. Not able to save that AK, but, you know, it's always nice. The thing is with the Zeus, though, like, it's a good, fun little weapon. But unless you're able to save the gun that you get, it's, like, literally pointless. Because you don't get a kill reward, it's, like, minus $200 just straight up. Even if you do get a kill, you have to save, so it's pretty hard. It's a pretty hard gun to, you know, be effective with, or piece of utility. It's not really a gun, is it? I don't know.
It's technically a gun, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's hard to call it utility as well, isn't it? It's pretty difficult one. But as you can see now, all the pensioners rushing straight down that B site, not mucking about here. Capers just trying to get an AWP shot, doesn't get the opportunity as well. Fazan gets taken down. Two-Turn does manage to trade off anyway. 3v3 now. It's taken down to 7 HP. Two-Tongue and Emin now has been damaged that little bit more as well. Two-Tongue here gets some very crucial trades there. He's already on 2 kills, but he's trying to find more. But Mr. Hoy here's trying to find an outs here, trying to delay things as much as he can, but the aggression from Fierce is saying otherwise, but does get taken down. All members of Pensioners have fallen short, and then will get defused down. It's, yeah, a bit of a struggle, but at least I got that bomb down for the extra monies next round.
Yeah, I suppose so. And they do have a hell of a lot of it, actually, you know, after winning so many. You might straight balling, to be fair. 25 kills in for Preliden. As you can kind of see, though, the way that, like, ESL works, you know, your second half RWS places you differently on the scoreboard. So, like, he's got quite a few frags, but he's closer to the bottom in the second half, so his impact not quite being as prevalent on the T side of things, which is certainly something to note. But nonetheless, into round number 23. Shaney on the AWP yet again, the comfortable weapon. Train definitely a map where your T side AWP can, you know, really pop off. A lot of the time we sort of say, you know, like your Infernos, your overpasses, you don't necessarily need an AWP on the T side. It's mainly to answer back against a CT AWP. But I feel like Shaney could definitely take control of this one. It's a bit of a tag on towards Emin. I think actually got taken down from Ivy there. I'm not quite sure where all these frags are coming from. Fezzen picks up a 2k. So very hard to keep up with, in all honesty. But 3-on-3 directly on this A site. Everybody out here and ready for the ensuing battle. Spray on through the smoke, almost takes down Hype. Aaron able to find Tone G again in from behind, creeping on through. Hype does drop the bomb, but now he's the only one remaining as Capers falls on 24 HP. Gets spotted out in the open. Easy pick up for Preliden. It will be 12-11 in favour of the Pensioners as they start to solidify their lead a little bit better. You know, they reset the economy here quite harshly at Fierce Esports.
Yeah, 27-14 now. He had a really, really strong showing right at the beginning. He really, best phrase to put it, just basically stood out from the pack in those first 5 or 6 rounds. But I was talking about it before. I was like, well, okay, let's see his level of consistency going into these next few rounds, and of course in the second half when he switches sides. But hasn't really changed too much. But what has changed is Shaney got a nice clean AWP there on Fazan. Even gets cleaned up as well. 2k there for Benito now, but Capers is the last one standing. Gets cleaned up, pretty quick job of that rounds. All said and done, and now I have to see if Fierce can actually find a way back into this on this CT side.
Not looking too great for them, is it really? It's probably going to be up to a 14th for the Pensioners. As, again, it is a relatively weak buy. Very, very little invested, you know, the quasi-buy type situation from Fierce Esports. So, not the best of situations, but, you know, they're going to have to work around it, do what they can, and try and do a little bit of damage here. It's a little bit awkward. Capers tries to run his little booty out of there, but he cannot do so. Preliden in with the AWP as well. Going to pick up a 3rd here. So, pretty nice round from him so far. The Eco Frag Warrior, I think, has just hit the 30 bomb off the back of that. Faison going to take down Benito, get his hands onto an AK, but I think that's going to have to be saved, and Hoy has got other things to say. Finds him in the end. All onto Hype to try and recover something. This obviously is going to go the way of Pensioners. 14-11.
Yeah, Prem is on that 3k. He would like a... No, it would be nice to have a 4k as well, just to complement things a little bit further, but... Hype now is going to see what he can do, but Prem said, like, literally sneaking around. He's after it. Doesn't get it, though. he tried, but you know, Hype had to demoralise him a little bit more, just to annoy him a bit, but Aaron does try and clean up there. He's still behind that truck, trying to stay alive. It's just a little bit more, but finally he takes out Hype after all that. But now 14-11 for Pensioners. Maybe I spoke a bit too lowly about him at the stage when they were down 9-6 on that half as well, but you know, I'm glad we're actually changing things here. I think in the group at the moment they're going 1 and 2, so another win on the board will definitely solidify playoffs just that little bit further, one step closer, you could say, considering it is week 3 at the moment. But going into this now, we're going to buy round 4. Both teams here, but Fazan has to get that first pick straight away. Oh, doesn't get taken down, but Imin has to take him anyway, must have cleaned things up, but nice little nade there. Hype brought down to 48 HP, now down to 16 for that molly, but does try and get out of it. And just manages to survive there, but Aaron does also back off here. But Shaney, nice little snipe from him. It is still 4v3, but they've definitely got an opportunity here. Haven't got too much control of that A site here, but it's slowly pushing, but what a shot there by Shaney again. On 2-ton. I'm not too sure what he was doing there. I think he was just trying to see if anyone was going through the carriages on that right side, but that cost him his head. But 3v2 now, so only Shaney and Aaron left, both with AWPs as well. It would be a little bit awkward depending on what they want to do here, but Imin does take him down. There's only Aaron left remaining here, so we have to see exactly what he wants to do. If he wants to try and go for that bomb plant here, or if at least try and find out enough information, but there's a chance he could be taken down here. He is tempted to go for the A site. Was having a look around pop to see if anyone's actually hiding around there, but it's going to be quite a tough one. But he will try and go for that plant. Doesn't happen. Hype managed to clean up that and get AWP of his own as well. So Fierce slowly trying to make that comeback here. Yeah,
a little bit, you know, of a chance for Pensioners towards the end there, especially Shaney on the AWP, but unfortunately just not quite able to recover from the earlier picks of that particular round. Shaney moving away from the AWP here, despite having the money to get it. Maybe a little bit based off of spawns, perhaps? I don't think so. He seems to be going for a pretty aggressive B play by the looks of things. So certainly interesting that he's not on the AWP and pre-lit, and this nice little tag comes in from K-Piz. They are throwing down the Molotovs, but smokes to follow. A lot of pressure over towards Heaven can often be hard to deal with, and there it is. Aaron comes in, Badito as well, quickly following up, brings it into a 5-on-3. The crisp, clean lock from the boys on Pensioners so far. They've only lost one moving in towards this B site, and it's into a 3-on-2. To be fair, Hype does manage to pull one back in their favour, but limited utility. AWP on the retake, never really ideal. Kit unavailable. Hype tagged down to 39 HP. He does manage to find another kill though, but pre-laden in with the AWP from the side, drops Emin, and Hype now with a monumental task ahead of him. He's got to find 2 more. Not enough time. He's going to run away and go for the save. I think he might be able to get away with that at the very least, but it's going to be match point for Pensioners. They've got 3 in a row to play with. Do need to close this one out, you know, a little bit quicker than perhaps we've seen in some of the games this evening. Still, that is once again some pressure off their shoulders.
Yeah, they definitely need to save the AWP as well. Look at the financial side of Fierce is very, very bleak, and that AWP is the only one of the very few things that can keep him in this game so far. Of course, it is match point for Pensioners just to try and clean things up here, but Preledin still 32 and 16. I think I saw a quick glimpse of Shaney there, 23 and 15 as well. A little bit of a slow start to begin with, but definitely having a strong end here. Their T side has been working wonders here, and some of these fast executes on the side, but Fierce have done not really too much they can do, but nice nade on Shaney there. It does pull back, but you can see Aaron has to fly through anyway. Already 2 members down for Fierce. It's not looking too good here. Going that fast execute on that A site ASAP. But K-Piz is running for the life of him what he should do here, but it doesn't matter. It gets taken down anyway. And Pensioners, after what we spoke about after that first half, managed to take that 16-12. So a great T-side from them, to say the least.